What's up, y'all? I just hit play today. I just want to give out the word, forgive them, for they know not what they do. That is found somewhere in the Bible where Jesus is being crucified. And I tell people all the time, even if you don't believe Jesus was real or ever existed, Jesus is still, if you want to look at it from a realistic standpoint versus a spiritual standpoint or theology standpoint, Jesus is depicted as a character in the Bible who was victorious in many ways. And even when people bruised him and beat him and uh, accused him of things that he was not guilty of, he was still convicted on earth because of the purpose of what he was called to do. And even then, without him sinning, he said, forgive them for they know not what they do. What I want to say to you today is, if you are a person who you know you've grown closer to God over the years, you reading what the word says about God, and it don't matter how the word got here, just the logic and reasoning of the word alone, it works. I am in the book of Hebrews. I've been reading the Bible every day since 2017, so that makes 8 years. I got about 40 or less pages to go until I complete Revelations. And what I've gained is be slow to give or take offense. I don't always get that right, but majority of the time I do. And being slow to give or take offense is people who don't read that Bible, they going to only hold you against it. People who don't have a prayer life established the way you have a prayer life established, they going to only hold you against it. All these things are free and anybody can do. But people who are not willing to change their wicked ways, and they're all not wicked, but a lot of people have wicked ways that are more wicked than others. That's not saying no sin is uh, outweighing another. But what I am saying is getting better, being progressive is something I believe that God has really um, blessed me in, because I am not who I was a month ago. I'm not who I was a year ago. I'm not who I was 5 years ago. I'm constantly working on getting better. And in getting better, it takes forgiveness. It takes patience. It takes accountability. If I make a mistake, if I say something that I know is provocative to my neighbor, going to my neighbor and apologizing. If I need to say something, Ezekiel 33 tells me to warn the watchman. And if I don't warn the watchman and something happens to that, it tells me to be like the watchman and warn the people. And if I don't warn the people and something happens to those people, blood is on my hand. But if I warn those people and then something happens, blood is on their own hand for just ignoring the word that I stand that said came from God. And anything that any advice, this is what I could always give you. When people give you spiritual advice, if they cannot back it up with anything in the Bible, they may not know now, but if you ain't seen nothing in the Bible that talks about it, then 9 times out of 10, probably 10 times out of 10, I'm just giving you my experience, so 10 times out of 10, it ain't come from God. Because anything that comes from God in the faith that I follow and many others of the Christian faith follow, and people debate about Christianity, being like Christ, and I say this all the time, words that end with a T-I-A-N, that means within. So Christian is a real term. Technician is a real term. Beautician is a real term. Esthetician is a real term. I think I said electrician. All of these are real terms, y'all. So being a Christian, you're going to suffer much ridicule. You're going to have to forgive people for they know not what they do. When people see that you still get what they get, and sometimes they're the ones blessing you. When people still see you get what they get and you didn't have to labor as what looks like the way that they labored, they're gonna have a problem with that. And the thing is, they really don't have a problem with you. They have a problem with the God that resides in you. And so good and evil can't occupy the same space. Light and darkness can't occupy the same space. And the best thing I can tell you to do is be on the good side. And you can go and mark up what's good with them 10 commandments in the Bible. You can go and mark up what's good on how you live, the fruit of your labor. You can go and mark up what's good based upon, are you starting the arguments? Are you being provocative? Are you being negative? Are you being, you know what I'm saying? You can just ask yourself these things. And I like the way Steve Harvey put it. He said, growing up, he said, you know, he pretty much said, you got good and you got evil. And he said, do more good. He pretty much said like that on one of his shows, of his many shows. He was talking about toeing the line. He said, man, you got the good side and you got the not so good side. Toe the line, do more good. And that's what I want to give y'all today. A lot of people will justify treating you cruel because they're not reading the Bible. So they don't even know what it says. They don't know how to respond to somebody disagreeing. They don't know how to respond to somebody taking a different path in a way that's godly. So they do it the way they feel like it. And I just want to give y'all this because it's not something I go through with one person. It's not something I go through with two people. It's something I go through on a day-to-day basis. But anybody that I advise, anybody that I lead, the youngest called me. I just had a younger call me 2 a.m. this morning. I had a younger call me just about every day. Different younger. Or somebody reaches out to me, they know where their help comes from. And if that help can come from you, and you can have less than what they have, but if they know that it's something inside of you that's laid and connected to God. So keep going in the right direction. Stay grounded. And I like the way one elder put it. I put him on my stories on Instagram. He said, before you talk to anybody, read the Bible. Pray. And that's why I fear leaving. I fear leaving the room. I fear leaving the place. I fear doing anything without praying and reading the Bible. For real, for real. It's scary out here. But at the end of the day, forgive them for they know not what they do. I wish y'all a great day. Keep it there.